My beard's all filling in.
I don't even. Mine just is starting to grow in. I barely have.
Yeah, I've had mine for a couple of years now, so I'm used to it. When you go bald, you kind of
Yeah, y'all need the beard. If y'all don't have the beard, it looks really weird.
Yeah, no, yeah.
What's going on, guys? Angelo here. Welcome to Let's Talk About That podcast. Today I have a very special guest with me. He's been with CoasterForce for over a decade, and he also helps host the Drunk Riders podcast. And they also made this Onion 287 shirt. Give it up for Marcus.
Hello, everybody.
What's going on, man? Thank you for coming on the show. How have you been, man?
I've been all right, man. I appreciate you. I'm glad to be here. Not much.
Mm-hmm.
Quarantine's been interesting, to say the least. So, it's been bouncing around, just doing the podcast, trying to have an interesting year, to say the least.
Yeah, I mean, it's been really crazy so far. So, but today's agenda, guys, we're going to talk about him a little bit, some of his most anticipated coasters of 2020. We also are going to talk about some park trips. He's going to explain CoasterForce to us just a little bit more because I don't think a lot of people realize what it all is about. And we're just going to go over a couple other things, have some fun. And it shouldn't be too long. So hope you guys enjoy the video, though. All right, man. So, what got you really into coasters? How did you become an enthusiast? I usually try to ask everyone who comes on here what they think.
So for me, it's easy. I'm born and raised in Ohio.
Oh, okay.
Simple and sweet. I'm from Northeast Ohio, so I was 30 minutes from Geauga Lake.
Oh, wow.
One of my younger memories was actually at Geauga Lake.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
That's
my
crazy.
Dad had a company outing at the lake.
Oh, wow.
This is, mid-'90s. And
I wasn't even born then.
Right. So, he had an outing, and I remember being there and seeing the coasters whoa, and being 5, 6 years old. And then, I'd go to Geauga Lake pretty constantly. Back then, they had a Cedar Fair offered a pass for
that's right.
Geauga Lake, Cedar Point, and Kings Island. So
wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, it was great. I would go constantly, and just Ohio.
You rode. So that means you rode. Did you ride both the Dominators then, or both versions of it?
I've ridden both. Yeah, so I rode Dominator. Funny story about that. So in 06, 07. It was right after Cedar Fair bought them.
Oh, wow.
I went there one day. So for me, it'd be I had friends who lived on the other side of Akron. So I'd go visit them from time to time. Plus, 30-minute drive for, a dozen.
That's not bad.
I'm not hating at all. So right. I'm making that drive. I one day rode Dominator in all but 2 seats.
Oh my gosh!
I didn't even leave the station. There was
that's
nobody
crazy.
Was there. It was a Thursday, and I was just it was the middle of summer.
Wow.
I was in college at the time, so I would just go and just ride for hours.
Yeah, I mean, middle of summer now, there's no way you're probably gonna get that.
Oh yeah,
that's crazy.
You can't even stay in the station, even if it is dead. Let alone get in. I rode it I think 25 times in a row or something like that. And then I was like, okay, I think I need to go. I had some stuff to do.
What did you think of Geauga Lake at that time? I haven't heard someone who's been there like that. What was that like?
All right, so first of all, I just want to start with there's a lot of conspiracy theories around Geauga Lake closing. I'll tell you this, and I know exactly what it is because as a person of Northeast Ohio, I have a different bond than those who are outside of it. So before Premier Parks bought it, which eventually became Six Flags, together they merged after that.
Right.
Even with Premier Parks, it wasn't bad, but it was starting to get a little too commercialized. And then Six Flags came in and then went full Six Flags. Right? I mean,
Takis.
Exactly. Advertisements everywhere.
Oh, man.
Geauga Lake was a park that, it was a small park, small regional park.
Yeah, it's kind of like Kentucky Kingdom in a sense, a little bit.
Oh, yeah, very, very much so. But imagine Kentucky Kingdom, but then but punching your weight up to trying to be Cedar Point.
Oh, wow.
That's what they tried to do. So they added
small part. Wow.
Oh yeah, so they added, the coasters were good, but they added 5 roller coasters.
Holy moly!
2 years, 2.5
2
years.
years. It's not Energy Landia out here.
Oh yeah, and they tried really bad. Like they still had they had a number of coasters there. Not all of them were great. Big Dipper was a pretty entertaining old coaster, but they had a Dominator, Thunderhawk, X-Flight when it was before Firehawk at Kings Island.
And that's gone now. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, Possessed when it before it moved to Dorney.
That's right.
It was Superman then.
And now that's supposed to get removed too with the world.
Yep. And then Beaverland Mine Ride. I remember that. I got that credit too.
Oh, nice.
Yep. But they had those 5 coasters over the course of 2.5 years. So it was good it was crazy for like 2 years. So they built it up from a small little regional park. Obviously, SeaWorld was right across the street. SeaWorld.
Oh, yeah, that's
Ohio.
right.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, SeaWorld is like San Antonio, San Diego, Orlando, and Ohio? What? It was a really random spot for so they integrated all that together, and they had a water park that was kind of already there.
I remember that.
Six Flags Worlds of Adventure, and it was crazy for 2-3 years.
Yeah.
But then everybody, it had an influx of tourists, but it wasn't built for tourists. It's not like Cedar Point.
Park was small, so.
Oh yeah, small regional thing. You can't punch well above your weight and expect to stay there forever. Yeah. So, and the worst part was 2 things. One, it was Six Flags.
Right.
6 Flags, and then 2, when all these regional people that were constantly going, doing all this fun stuff, got there and they were like, I don't want to deal with all this. Hour and a half wait for a ride I used to wait 15 minutes for. Why would I do that? And then they stopped coming because it was years of that. And then when it sold to Cedar Fair was like, okay, we don't deal with animals. Close down that side. Fine, that's a smart investment. Cedar Fair, no problem. It's in Ohio. Real talk. It probably should have been open in the first place.
Right.
And then they let the water park stay. They built that one up on portions of the SeaWorld property, and then they trimmed the fat with Geauga Lake. Yeah. But then over the course of 4 years, nobody really wanted to come back because it wasn't a major attraction anymore. It didn't have those advertisements.
A smaller park than it kind of was almost. It's like so weird.
And then they started hacking coasters. Things were moved everywhere else. Yep. And then at the end, I remember I went the summer before it closed. I didn't go.
Oh wow.
Because they never announced it, so they just closed it. They just
so they did that volcano thing.
Yeah, like after the day. Well, not even because Volcano. I have theories about Volcano closing, but it closed. They announced it after the park closed, so like they couldn't have said, "Hey, this is gonna be our last season. We're gonna close it. This is it." Right. It just everybody was like, "Okay, see you guys next year." All right. Dang. And then November, or forget when they announced it, or October or something. Yeah, they're not opening back up. Wait, what? We're gone? Yeah. So we had a whole trip there that year. That's crazy. With CoasterForce. But yeah, no, it was a fun little place. It was nice before and after, but it was because it was so dead. Yeah. And before because it was a small little thing. It was like going to any small regional park. Yeah. The lines weren't crazy. Yeah, the rides weren't amazing, but it was a good chill day. You're not going if you want something crazy with the ginormous rides that are insane. You drive an hour.
Cedar Point and whatnot.
Go to Cedar Point. You drive a couple hours. Go to Kings Island. You want to go to Kennywood still.
Right. Yeah, I was going to say Kennywood.
Yeah, so you avoid that. That's what it holds something in my heart because again, Northeast Ohio, everybody loved Geauga Lake. There wasn't a person that would everybody would go every year. Not everybody would go to Cedar Point.
Yeah, that's true. Like I remember, now actually a guy called what is this channel? It's called Bright Sun Films. He just did like a video on it, and. Yeah, it was really good too. Like he just kind of went over the only thing that was really left. They were going to try to keep the water park, and they still have a little bit of that left. But basically everything's gone. It's pretty crazy. Like that park and Astroworld were the only parks that really removed basically everything.
Yeah, so. Yeah. They kept the water park open for I think another decade after. Yeah, I think it closed in 2017, and then now it's
now it's gone.
Yeah, now I keep seeing in Plain Dealer as Cleveland's newspaper. Right. Akron Beacon Journal, they keep posting from time to time, new thing to development in Aurora on the thing, and then everything falls through every single time. So it's just gonna be a blank slot. forever.
Let's talk about the quarantine really quick. Like, how has that been for you? I mean, you're still working, aren't you, or what?
Yes.
Okay.
So my job allows me the comfort of working from home.
Nice.
Working in IT, I get that luxury in some cases. So I do get to work from home. It sucks because personally I'm a very social person, so I'm like that.
You're the extrovert, okay.
So I'm sitting at home. I'm like, oh, and then I got my kids here too because their school's obviously closed.
Oh man.
Luckily the wife's working half days right now, so she has to still go.
Oh wow.
But yeah, she comes home, so I got half the day of not craziness. So
well, that's good. At least you still have like an essential job. I mean, same here. Luckily, I think like everybody that's done the podcast so far still has a job right now, so that's good.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say like it's been really crazy how like for parks wise, it's like it's hurting them really bad right now. Like I was scheduled to probably go to Busch Gardens literally what is it, almost 2 months ago, and I'm supposed to be going there in March, and like I said in like the last podcast, I was just like the day before they ended up closing. It was crazy. So
yeah, I had less than a month from now. Actually, I was supposed to be flying back 5/12. I planned on going down to Texas. I haven't even canceled my flights yet. I need to do that. Luckily, American Airlines is offering a credit, so I can.
Well, yeah, because they want people to at least use it.
Yeah, use those miles when it comes back. Yeah, so I got to figure it out because I was like, I wonder if it's going to be open, not the park, just to go because my friend lives down in Texas. So I was like, I can go visit him for a couple of days, be a good time. But it's kind of that point where I'm just like, I may just cancel it and go later in the year.
I don't blame. Yeah, I mean, I got to see like. Now I'm just like trying to figure out because the problem is that nobody knows the dates of when anything's going to open back up. It's like, okay, so are we going to actually shoot for June? Or, I mean, I don't even think they're going to really open mid-May because in Virginia, our stay-at-home order is to, June 10th. So, and all our schools are basically canceled now. So it's crazy.
Yeah, we're Ohio where we started really early. Like we started staying home in like mid-March.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
man.
I'm almost a month into working from home.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, I mean, Ohio, to be honest, it jumped it real quick.
Yeah, I mean, well, y'all are a northern state too, so it's like Virginia, it started hitting us mid-May. Yeah, because it was like March 14th, like right in that middle week of March, that's when it started, so.
Yeah, and it's been interesting to say the least because
we
I mean I'm used to my season not starting until May anyway.
No, see for me, oh my god.
Yeah, so for me I'm like, for me it's no different. I'm just canceling.
What was the last coaster you rode?
So I went to IAPA last year.
Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah, so I got to go. I hadn't been to all the parks proper. I've been to IAPA 2 years in a row. But I didn't go to all the parks proper 2 years ago because I was only there for the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I got there on Sunday, and then 4 days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I did a half day on Thursday. Down. And then I left to go. Actually, me and my friends that year we had a Friendsgiving at Dollywood.
Nice.
So I flew out, and so I didn't really get to enjoy it proper. This year, I had a whole week. I got there on I think it was Saturday morning.
Oh my gosh, you were there.
So
I was there. That's long.
I was there from Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I think I left Friday midday. So I was there for 6.5 days. So I got Busch, I got Universal.
Did you get Islands of Adventure?
Yeah, fun spots, all those. Yeah, we spent a whole day at Busch and then a whole day at Universal. Nice. And I hadn't been to Universal in for like 2007.
I had always wanted to go there, but I remember we went down to Disney World when I was a kid, and I still remember it. I was like, "What is that park over there with that green ride?" It was Hulk, and I was like, "We're going over there, right?" They were like, "No, that's another park." I was like, "What? What are we doing? Like, why are we going to Animal Kingdom?"
Yeah, when I was a kid, we'd go to Disney every year. Yeah, we went every year.
Oh man, that's nice.
I wasn't a huge fan of roller coasters, but I was like, that's cool, I guess. So yeah, we'd go off to that. But yeah, I hadn't been to Busch Gardens either since my first daughter was born, 2011.
Oh my gosh! Yeah,
Last
that's
time I was
they've
there,
been adding stuff down there too.
oh
So.
yeah, last time I was there, they were building Cheetah Hunt.
Oh
I
my
saw the brake
gosh.
run and like the whole station was being built. I didn't see anything else past that. So,
Wow.
because we went in like November. So
Mhm.
yeah, I got like something like 15 new creds down there. It was
Oh,
heck of a
nice.
run considering I'd been down there before. I
Yeah.
still haven't been to Disney to ride the rides, but I'm not going to pay $4,000.
Oh, right. Exactly. Maybe one day, like if YouTube treats you right and like I actually get 100,000 subs, that might be the gift to the subscribers or something.
Right?
I don't know.
Yeah, do something like that. Group meet.
I mean, what's your most anticipated coasters though for like this year? Like, what are you looking forward to the most?
So I'd say two, really.
Okay.
Iron Gwazi, just because Still Vengeance is my number one.
Yeah.
Zadra looks incredible. I've had friends who've been on.
That's
Zadra
what everyone says. Yeah.
Yeah. Had the prices not been a little bit outside of my range, I might have went last year. And also, it looks great. So I don't see. That's the thing with these RMCs, the big RMCs. You don't know how it's going to ride.
That's what everyone says. Like I haven't really got the experience. I've only ridden Twisted Timber, so it's just like all I can base it off of is the barrel roll drops and like some airtime. But it's a solid ride. It's just like I wonder what the taller ones are like. So,
oh yeah, I mean that's the thing. So every single one I've been on over the years has been different. Right, so it's tough to say because going into Still Vengeance, I thought I knew what I was expecting. Oh no, I got completely different. So I've been on, I think, like 12 at this point.
Dang.
RMCs. So my gosh, yeah. So I mean, the farthest one I went to Europe a couple years ago, and I got on Wildfire.
I was about to say Wildfire. I was like, oh man.
Yeah, I got Wildfire. That's a hell of a ride. That's in my top 10. That's a great ride.
Nice.
It pitters off a little bit at the end, but pitters off is like, oh well,
I mean, the theming's so good. Like,
oh yeah, the park is incredible. Love the park, and the ride itself is wonderful too. So, and it was a short wait. How did we not? Because we didn't have a car there, so we took all public transport. If we'd have drove, we definitely would have stayed longer. But
I mean, have you ridden a single rail yet or no?
I have not. That's why I was going to Texas.
Oh. I mean, what about Jersey Devil? That's close to you, so yeah.
I was going to say, so the second ride is Jersey Devil.
Oh, okay. Nice.
One, because I haven't been to Great Adventure for 13 years.
Oh my gosh.
Which is surprising considering, I mean, I've been up to like New England 3 times. I've been to a couple other places a number of times in the Northeast. And
what about Hershey Park? When's the last time you've been there?
Oh man, like 2012, 2013. I rode Sky Rush. I got on Sky Rush.
Wow.
Yeah. So
I mean, they haven't added much since then, so it's like you're not really missing much. So
yeah. We had ERT on Sky Rush, and that was great. Night ERT on Sky Rush. Yeah, my thighs hurt.
Dang.
But
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, no, it was a good time. Yeah, we but I haven't been to. I got to get back on Toro. Toro's still holding tight in my top 5.
It'll still be there. Like
I'm hoping so. See, I wondered the same about Boulder Dash. I got on Boulder Dash in like 07, and then I didn't ride it until like 2015, 2016.
I'll say they maintain it. Like they maintain, from what I've seen and like from what people say, like they usually try to retrack it like every year. They do usually, and I think like the year before, that off season of like I guess the 2018 season. Going in 2019, they had retracted in a couple spots. So when we rode for Riding of the Bulls, it was pretty much smooth. I mean, there was like maybe one rough part depending on where you set, but it was a basically smooth ride. So
yeah, I feel that. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
When I remember when I last rode it, there's a rough spot or two.
Oh, okay, then it's basically the same.
Yeah, it's a Woody. I expected it. I wasn't going into it like, oh, this is gonna be the smoothest thing ever. When I first rode it, I was like, holy crap, that was smooth. But of course, nobody was used to Intamin prefabs yet. So now that we have, of course, RMCs and GCIs getting better and better, so it's like, you expect it. And,
so what does have you ridden Mind Blower?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay. So phenomenal, what is that like? How does the barrel roll feel on that type of like pudding coaster, I guess? Because like for Twisted Timbers, it's like for steel, I guess, does it feel different or what?
No, it let's just say, so it's an inversion. So you're out of your seat, so you don't feel the roughness at all. You're just kind of, it's a flow, right? So you just kind of flow through it.
It's like almost like a mini stall type of thing.
Yeah. Like the thing about mind blowers, as soon as you get out of it, and you get that twist, you twist back down, and then you go to a turn. That turn can be a little bit rough, a little bit jarring if you don't like. First time I was like, holy crap, I didn't know that was coming. But it's a long and kind of drawn out. It's not quite the same as what you see in RMC, so it's a little smoother, and it's nice actually. Yeah, compared to like, I don't know, we want to maybe Goliath at Great America, that one, but that's got a stall.
Wait, have you ridden Hades 360?
I have not.
Okay, I've got to ride that one day. Yeah, Mount Olympus, man.
So we were thinking, me and my friends, because of this year, is if parks like start opening up in like August.
Yeah.
We were gonna start going. We were gonna do possibly like a friend trip, go to Dells, and then me and my friends are all college football fans, so we were thinking about going to Wisconsin because they were facing Indiana. I was like, okay, well that's gonna be easy. One, I can wear my Ohio State gear, rock it out, and my friend's a Kansas State fan. Other dude's a Michigan fan.
That's right.
We could all crash it out. Be great.
I'm Patriots all day.
I'm a Browns fan, so that's really all. But and then go to Valley Fair, because I've never been to Valley Fair either.
Same.
Then, if you remember, that little RMC going out in South Dakota.
Yeah, South Dakota, and I'm like, is that even gonna? That's probably not gonna happen this year. Like, I don't know.
Well, it depends. South Dakota hasn't been hit very hard, so.
That's right.
Yeah, there's not a lot of people. One and two, it hasn't been hit very hard, so.
I mean, it's so in the cut to the park. It's just like they built it there. I know, like Alan was probably just like, let's see if they actually go to it. Like, maybe we're gonna go for sure. So.
I mean, you just literally look at. I know some people I know that they're literally like, I'm gonna go just for that. But
it's just keep rewriting it.
Yeah, like because nobody's gonna be there. Right. So even with like, it reminds me of like when Ravine Flyer 2 opened at Waldemere. At first, they had long lines. Like you wait.
Yeah.
But then after 6 months, you were waiting. 10 minutes walk on most of the time.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
What about what's that? Oh, so I know they just put this out like Sunday. Or not Sunday, it was Saturday. They put this out Saturday, but like Magic Mountain's supposed to be getting like a clone of Jersey Devil now in 2021. I was like, what the world? Like,
yeah. See, I don't think so. So my thoughts on this with the quarantine is that going to be if capital investment stops.
Six Flags they are done.
They're already having issues, but the best possible thing I think they could do is to pause, because they've already done it. We talked about on my podcast last week was they paused capital investment for 2020 on anything that isn't already built. Like there's some parks that they had a hole in the ground and that was it. They're just like, we're holding on. Like the coasters, like Jersey Devils almost done.
I mean, they were probably gonna like work hard to probably get it done like by the end of March, but then once everything started happening, it was just like, well, there's no reason to rush anymore. So they're still going though, from what I hear. So
well, they got the New Jersey issue that construction, non-essential construction.
That's what I heard
on Friday, and that could include.
That's what people were saying.
Great adventure. So
Virginia, we still have construction, so I'm pretty sure they're doing something with Pantheon. Obviously, the track and everything is done, so I don't really know what else they're doing, because now we just really are waiting for everyone to be allowed to get into the park, because then everything starts testing and whatnot, and then they can open up. So we'll have to see. I mean, so like, what got you like? How did you first find out about CoasterForce? Like, how did that happen?
So, real funny story, actually. So, I got into Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Oh, wow.
In like the early mid 2000s. It was right when 2 came out, right before 3. And Atari, they had a pretty big forum community.
Oh, okay.
On their website for Roller Coaster Tycoon. And in there was amusement industry forum.
Oh, wow.
Just a little subsection. They had like 2, 3 big projects, mods, and then like a small one at the bottom for stuff, being built. And I'd post in there regularly because I didn't really have any other place. There were some other smaller, older websites that are gone now that I never really posed, like CoasterNet,
Yeah.
Roller Coaster Pro.
Yeah, they don't really post crazy.
Those are kind of done now, but Roller Coaster Pro, so I think pretty much folded, I believe, at this point. But
yeah.
And then a great friend of mine now, he posted in there, and his signature had CoasterForce in it. So I was like,
oh wow,
let me see. So I clicked it, joined that day, February, and I still remember it because it's February 3rd, 2006.
Oh my gosh, that was like literally when YouTube was just getting started. Like, man,
yep,
that's crazy.
Yep. The website looks radically different than it does now. But yeah, I joined then, and the rest is history. Really, I found CoasterForce that way, and then I went from, you know, they had today isn't the same, of course. I mean, if you think of Facebook, wasn't a big thing.
Yeah.
I mean, at that time, I remember because I was in college at that time.
Oh wow.
At that point, Facebook was only letting colleges in. That's how old I am. Only college. You had to have a college email to get on Facebook. So
my gosh.
I didn't even get Facebook until like October of 2005 after I graduated high school, because they didn't have my college in their network.
Oh my goodness, yeah, that's a really long time ago.
Oh yeah, so that's how long ago that was. So Facebook didn't have the thing. Twitter wasn't a thing yet, so everybody was on forums. Everybody. So CoasterForce
was Reddit around?
No.
Oh,
Reddit wasn't big.
Gosh.
It was a small little thing, yeah. So they, I mean, it was kind of like Reddit. I mean, if you think about those forums back then.
Yeah.
Because then it was really TPR.
Yeah.
Everybody knows theme park reviews. So, and CoasterForce, those were the big two.
Wow.
Forum size, at the time, it was about the same. Theme park review started to take the lead because over like the coming years, they would just do more crap, and you know they would.
Yeah.
That's a whole different thing. But
I mean, so what is it? Wait, so can you still join CoasterForce or what? Like, okay.
The forum's still there.
Wow.
We definitely don't post as much because so the world then is radically different than the world now, obviously. So then you didn't have Facebook groups, you didn't have Twitter back and forths. You had Screamscape was relied upon for news. That's back when they were the number one thing for everything.
Oh,
nowadays everything's broken on Twitter,
right?
So nobody relies on Screamscape anymore. Back then, it was like Screamscape was the source.
Wow, like so RCBD that wasn't even around.
No, that was around.
Okay,
but they weren't like a news thing. They were just trying to accumulate data together. So, so you get Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. None of that existed. So all you had was forums. So forums. I remember at one point I was averaging 30 posts a day on the forums.
Gosh.
Because again, I was in college. I mean, I was an athlete, so I ran track in college. So so at that my classes, you know, I was socializing most of my day. Obviously, going out running classes, but in between, when I was kind of alone, just hanging out in my dorm room, I'd be like, well, let me just see what's going on in the world. Learned about things. I learned so much about the industry that you can't learn today. You legitimately cannot learn today unless you know somebody in the industry. Simply because the funny thing is, so of the people that I was really good friends with now, I know a couple of people that are high up, like vice presidents of parks, designers, all the stuff, just from the CoasterForce forums of like 07, 06.
Wow.
People, I know a guy that he lives in Japan now. I just said that. He helps design for a fun house, like a scream house type thing. And he knew so much. He absorbed so much information, and he's actually a great friend of mine. I don't talk to him as much these days, because you know, when you grow up, that's just kind of what happens. But back then, we were both in college, so we were just chit-chatting all the time. He had a fiery attitude, just like I can have, and but his knowledge was unparalleled.
Wow.
And he would go into these long. You ask anybody from CoasterForce that was around from like 06 to 09, you did these long booklets that were never wrong. It was it was so much detail and the nuances of the industry that people just don't. They either don't care to learn, or there's no way to really learn it.
Well, see, now I was just about to say, like, now I get everything from like usually Wikipedia, just because it's like people usually just edit the information, so it's usually correct. Most of the time, it's correct. I'll fix a couple of things. So like, if they're talking about a newer coaster, I just kind of reword it to where it is right because somebody hasn't gone in and switched it yet. But like you said, I don't really. Besides RCBD now, it's like where in the world do you go besides looking up the coaster stats from someone else? So,
See, that's the other thing though is like discussions are hard to come by. Good discussions because then there would be, and I remember it. So the biggest thread in the history of CoasterForce was for Maverick.
Wow.
Cedar Point. So that one was like, so there's like 30 posts a page, and there was like 1,200 pages.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, because it started when, if you remember, I don't know if you do, but when they were discussing taking out Whitewater Landing, because it was about around the time I joined, like middle of summer. So
Whitewater like Landing, what in the world?
that was a flume ride where Maverick stands now. It was an older one. It was low ridership. The station, when you go to Cedar Point, the waiting room before, and you can see it because it has a lot of the cement from that. The queue before you get into the station was the actual platform for Whitewater Landing, and they discussed. The rumors leaked midsummer.
Dang! So it was like.
So they were like
how it is now, kind of. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. So like, but there was no other place like Twitter,
Facebook.
So it was literally just pages and pages of like, what could it be? Because this was there was a lull because they hadn't built anything since Dragster. So you're like,
oh wow,
what could it be?
Now it's like they build something every 2 to 3 years. Like that's crazy.
Yeah. Oh, before that they did because they did Wicked. They did Millennium Force. They took a year off and then they did Wicked. Then they did Dragster, and then they took 4 years. And you're like, they built some flats in that time, but they didn't build anything big. So then when rumors started flying, they're like, okay, this is a huge plot, but holy crap, what could they do? They could go this way. They could go that way. They could go, so many things. The type of ride was always debated. And Aquatrax came up forever because there was the one at, I think, Lot World over in South Korea.
I think that's what's called. Yeah.
Atlantis Adventure. Yeah, there it is. And so that was bouncing like around forever and ever and ever. So it'd be pages. And this is back when the forum was super active. So you would have sometimes a discussion would go through a page over the course of like an hour.
What
People
the world?
Posting, like, hey, what do you think about this? Could it be this? No, it could be this. No, that's not right.
It's like what we kind of do now when somebody leaks something, but like it just happens so fast now where it's like it's literally like news and then it's like not news the next week.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Oh yeah, like now you don't have that. Like there weren't as many parks building crazy stuff. There was a few, but
it's like the Coaster Wars is like I feel like it started back up just because of SeaWorld, but it's really not crazy anymore. Like the stuff people are doing is like benefiting the park now. It's like actually trying to help the park. So
and you know what? It started with Maverick. It really did, because Cedar Point was like, we're not spending $30 million on a roller coaster again just to beat somebody else. We're gonna build a quality ride. Maverick still costs $20 million, but it's like Maverick stood the test of time and it's still a favorite.
Right, it's still there. So and
a lot of other parks are like, well, why the hell don't we do that? Why are we building? So, and that's why you've really seen nobody besides Speed Records. Nobody's even come close to going.
That's true. Besides, that's right. Because like King Naka, it came out in 06, right? Or 08? I can't even remember.
05?
05? Okay.
Yeah, 2 years after.
Oh, yeah, because they did El Toro and they burnt out all that money.
Yep.
Wow. How did like live events and whatnot happen, or that didn't happen back then?
Oh, they happened. They definitely happened. So what CoasterForce does, and they've been around since I think 99, 2000. It was created by Dan. I forget his last name off the top of my head, but and then it was passed in like 2002 to our current still owner, at least part owner. It's split with another man named Jerry at to Ian Bell, and he's affectionately known in the UK community as Ian from CoasterForce, which is hilarious. But he's owned it ever since, and they started having live events in like 2001.
Wow.
And the way CoasterForce does it, it's not like Ace, it's not like TPR. It's you go on your own accord if you want to go, right? So you're just going to go with people that you know, or people you don't know. Just meet people, and hang out. CoasterForce started in UK too, so they had a lot of people. They had events at Thorpe, at Alton.
Oh yeah, that's what. Yeah, the
Chessington,
Alton.
yeah, Blackpool. They'd have those events
Y'all
all
have the
year.
CoasterForce lives and whatnot, and so yeah.
Yeah, so they still have those lives and the stuff in mainland Europe too. So we actually, and after I joined, we actually had the first USA live.
Oh wow!
At Cedar Point in 2006, the summer.
Wow!
And there was only 6 of us. And then right. Let's go back now. Then there's only 6. I still remember that picture. I remember driving up and I was still, because I'd never met people online. That was a time where you just don't meet people like that. And we met people and we met up and had a hell of a day. I mean, there was a wide range. I mean, the youngest was a 15-year-old.
Oh wow!
And I was 19, so I was the oldest. And and it was just a group of bunch of enthusiasts. We chatted, bullshitted all day.
Wow.
I still then we had 2 guys that were from the UK too. So. Which is hilarious that we happened to meet up.
Right, come to you.
But so that was our day, and we've had a live almost every single year since then. Our biggest one was probably, we've had close to, was probably in 2012. We had 25 people for a three-day event. And that's where I told you about Skyrush ERT. We had ERT for Skyrush. We had morning ERT on Fahrenheit and Storm Runner, and Lightning Racer, I think, too.
Dang.
But and then we went to I-305 and got morning ERT on 305.
Dang.
And that's the thing, Loke. It's so CoasterForce has got a lot of influence, and I think in a positive way, hopefully.
Yeah.
Because we've never really been a drama machine. We've really just we've been there, right? You know what I mean? And there's never been a face of CoasterForce. That's the other thing. So
that's true. Theme Park View, we all know who. Like we see who it is, Rob Alvey and whatnot. It's like CoasterForce. I realize that too. Besides, like you said, Jerry, that's really all I see. Like I'll see you in a couple of the videos, but for the most part, it's like I like that it's a group of people. It's not just one person. So, but we will talk more about this after we're going to take a quick break, guys, and we'll talk to y'all after this. All right, guys, we're back. So happy Easter, by the way. I forgot to tell you that before. It is Easter. We're recording on Easter Day right now. So
Yep. Happy Easter.
Did you get anything for Easter now?
No, I did get a little small Easter egg hunt for the kids. That was fun. Fun.
Getting back to CoasterForce, though, so just get right back into what you were talking about.
We had a little bit of a lull. So 06, 07... we did trips, right? So we did big trips, small trips. Sometimes they were 4 or 5 days long. Others were a single day. Sometimes we've had 1, maybe 2 a year. And then last year we decided to pick it up, right? We had an organized.
I saw y'all did like a real. It's like it was almost like a tour, like a real tour.
Yeah, it was. We tried to do a number of different places around the country.
I didn't even know what it was. I just I saw you guys posting it, but I was like, what in the world is a live? Like I thought you guys were saying like you're going live on YouTube and like it was like going to be live there. I was like, oh, okay, they're just doing like live from the UK. Like I was like, oh, that's going to be cool. No, like this is actually going places. So I was like, wow, that's pretty cool then. Yeah,
that last year we really picked it up. It was an organized team effort. So we really got together, the owners, and then the head of our social media team, and then we had somebody who directed the UK and somebody who directed USA, and me and my podcast buddies. Actually, we organized the USA side of things.
Are you drinking anything tonight or no?
No, I'm just drinking some orange juice.
Oh, okay.
I have to work in the morning, so I'm not. I don't want to. Get up at 7 a.m. with a hangover.
Right. Shout out to the Drunk Riders, guys. If you haven't checked out their podcast, they do an awesome job. They basically just get drunk and talk about coasters. And it's just a good time, guys. They just keep it real on the podcast about them. But so what else do you like to do besides coasters? Because I know everyone else has their own little hobby that they like besides coasters. What is yours?
Well, as I've gotten older and I've had a family, I love being with my kids, of course.
Yeah.
I like taking them to amusement parks. Actually, my 8-year-old just got tall enough to go on Millennium Force last year.
Yeah, I remember you talking about it. Yeah.
So I got her on Millennium Force. That was her first big girl roller coaster.
300-footer.
Yeah. It was one of my first ones too. So I figured I'd give her the same experience I did. But outside of that, I'm actually a big astronomy nerd.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah, it's a weird.
Space is what's up.
Oh yeah, me and my friend. He's a Mark on the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
He's an engineer, so he knows all this fun stuff. And I've just been a fan. So when I was a kid, I mentioned earlier that I went to Disney. We went to Cape Canaveral as part of the trip. So we didn't go Cape Canaveral, Florida, where they launched rockets off of.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we went there, went to their space center, went to all that fun stuff. And,
snap.
And I kind of fell in love at a young age. And then, like Apollo 13 came out around that time. Yeah. So, I just kind of I rewatched that movie 100. That's actually one of my favorite movies. Actually, I literally watched it like a week ago. No joke.
Oh my God.
It's a great movie.
See, I like Avatar. Like, I just like that whole concept. I remember like them being on like the fake planet but called Pandora, but like it just looked so cool. Like it was like so different at the time.
Yeah. Yeah, and I've still followed it. One of my favorite follows is actually the Juno spacecraft. It's flying around Jupiter at the moment.
Oh wow!
Photos are just incredible.
Yeah, I would say that's probably the coolest thing is because of technology. Now it's like, man, like I didn't even know you could get these shots of like. Oh yeah. When they show like Mars and like the moon, it's just like, man, you can see like the craters all the way now. So
yeah, and I was following in live. Recently, when like SpaceX has been launching and when New Horizons went by Pluto, I was so hyped that day.
I mean, do you have a telescope or what?
I do not. I'm more of a fan of it. I don't looking up. I remember going to the eclipse. We actually happened to be driving back from Toronto.
The solar eclipse. I remember that.
Yeah, we went to Canada's Wonderland, and we were driving back, and it happened where we were driving. We stopped and just all stared up and enjoyed it. But good news for the next, because I actually looked up, like, what's the next one? It literally goes over Ohio. So all I got to do is step outside. And, like,
snap.
Look at that. Beautiful.
See, ours in Virginia, like, I didn't even wear the things. I probably should have, but I didn't. And I was just like, because it was like light outside. I was like, is it even crossing us? And like, I guess it was crossing us, so I probably should have had them on, but I couldn't see anything, and that's probably why the glasses actually help you see it. So,
yeah, you were probably also like a partial eclipse, not a full.
Yeah.
Full eclipse is where it's one of that.
Oh yeah, it was pitch black in some areas. It was crazy.
Oh yeah, it completely goes away. Eclipses are one of those once in a lifetime things.
Yeah.
Because the last one over the States was like 30 years ago.
Oh my God.
And we get two over the course of like 7 years. Which is crazy.
Oh, wow.
And then
I was going to say, what comes more is the lunar eclipses.
Yeah,
that happens a lot more, and like the red moons happen a lot more. So
yeah, those are just those are obviously fairly common because all you need is a partial or complete blockage of the moon.
I'll tell you what's really weird though is when it gets closer, like those harvest moons. Oh my gosh, it's like. Can I see the craters actually? Like,
oh yeah, I love that. I love it so much. I've really been following the Aries. Aries? Yes, I think it's the Aries. No, maybe I forget the name of the new mission to the moon.
This is the moon. You mean Mars or what?
No, the moon. They're starting out with something in the moon. I forget. It's called the Orion spacecraft. Holy crap! What's it called? I think it's Aries. It can be Artemis. One of the two. But they have like their first planned launch. Like the ship's going to be bigger than the Saturn V.
Oh my gosh!
That took them to the moon. So it's going to be.
I mean, what SpaceX does now, I'm like, I can't wait because like when I'm older now, I'm going to be able to like see what SpaceX does because like. I'm pretty sure we'll end up in Mars sooner or later because, like, Elon Musk is determined to get there.
Yeah, I think he's going to have to partner with NASA. I don't think
regardless, I mean, they're going to have a bunch of money to do it, so.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's going to be a huge partnership. I mean, going to the moon is going to be a partnership, but once you can get to the moon, going to Mars is much easier.
Yeah.
Much, much easier. So.
I mean, the only thing, it's like what the world's going to happen, though. Everyone's, like, wondering what happens. It's like, is it going to be like what they say? I'm really intrigued on that. So, okay. So with you being in like the Drunk Riders podcast, what would you say some of your favorite drinks are that you had so far?
Oh man, see, I'm a beer guy, so not much for liquor.
So you don't do wines, whiskeys, bourbon?
Oh, I do.
Oh, okay.
I do. It's not like, a friend of mine's a big bourbon guy, and he sips on it. I can't sip on it. I can't like the flavor hits my palate too hard. And that feeling when you take a shot, you're just like, every time I take a sip of bourbon, whiskey, anything like that, it just hits like that every time. I just can't sip on it. Like,
wow.
I know when it tastes good, but I'm like, I'm more just a shot guy. And that comes from years of practice in college. But no, for beers, I prefer light beers.
Okay.
There's some great. So Columbus actually has there's so many breweries around here. They have what's called the Ale Trail, Columbus Ale Trail.
Oh wow.
Something like 50 breweries.
Holy moly.
Yeah, they have a whole booklet that you can go in and get stamped every time you go.
I think we have something like that. It might not be in Virginia, but I remember seeing it on TV. Like, I remember we were just like, yo, that's such a good concept. Like, it was like they serve all this good food, but like there's like you said, it's like a booklet of just beers and IPAs and everything. It's just crazy.
Yeah. There, a couple of years ago, me and a friend of mine, the same guy who got me on CoasterForce originally.
Oh wow.
We went to the Ale Trail downtown, and we started at like 10, and we closed down the bars, I think, at like 1, 2 o'clock.
Oh wow.
So we literally drank from 10 to 2 on a Saturday in the middle of summer, and I was drunk by like 2, 3 o'clock, and we kept going all day. Oh, it was a heck of a day. I think we went to like 11 breweries that day.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was a crazy day. It was like marathon and coasters. It really was. You just go place to place, get a good beer, because they had so many good beers. So I'm a light beer guy. I'd say a lot of the local Columbus brands. The biggest one is CBC, Columbus Brewing Company, and they have a couple on there. Skateland is probably my favorite from them. Obviously, you got Great Lakes Brewing. That's a big one. That's much bigger. Rheingeist down in Cincinnati. They have a couple of good ones. It's hard for me to be precise.
Do you have any like favorites from like, because I know amusement parks do it too. Like they also try to have like these in Virginia, at least like Kings Dominion has some of our own. So
yeah, I know when I go to parks. See, my problem is I don't want to be drunk.
Right.
So, yeah, like, because most of the time I'm going in summer, walking around a lot, and I'm not drinking enough water, and probably going to be on a couple of days of a trip. So for me, it's like drinking alcohol is the opposite of what I want to do. I want to drink more water, maybe some pop, whatever it happens to be. But yeah, I want to avoid alcohol. I have drank at parks before. Yeah. I've actually been drunk on Millennium Force.
Oh my gosh.
Surreal experience, let me tell you that. It wasn't like a bad drunk, like you were feeling queasy drunk. It was like it almost felt like a high. And you're just going down that drop. It felt like it went on forever. Yeah, it was a good time. I did, because I was almost, I'm pretty sure I was still drunk. We were up drinking till like 5 o'clock in the morning.
Oh my gosh.
I slept the drive to there. Great, then woke up and then rode Millennium Force.
Still drunk.
I was definitely still drunk, 100%.
Okay, well, we got a few questions that I want to ask you. One of them is, what's your favorite wooden coaster so far, or at least of right now?
Favorite wooden would be Lightning Rod. At Dollywood, yes. We CoasterForce Live. We I think we mentioned on the podcast before, but so the year it opened, Lightning Rod was obviously having issues. So we planned a trip to go. We did like a 4 or 5 park trip. And Dollywood was, I think, our 3rd park of the trip. I think we did like Kings Island, then Kentucky Kingdom and Holiday World in one day. Oh wow. Then Dollywood, then Carowinds.
That's a nice.
That was like and then like I think that was a trip. I think we did Cedar Point on after, like not everybody went, but we finished it. Yeah, it was a whole week long financing. But we were like, we didn't even know if it was gonna be open. We just wanted to go to Dollywood, and they were like, okay, if it's open, because I was talking to their PR guy. It's like, hey, CoasterForce is coming. We're gonna have like 15, 20 people. We would love to get some time there. And he was like, you know what? We don't know if it's going to be open yet. We'll keep you posted.
Wow.
At Holiday World. So the second half of the day, we went to Kentucky Kingdom in the morning, got some ERT on Storm Chaser. then that night we couldn't get anything at Hollywood, but we were riding Voyage and all that.
Oh wow!
I got a message on Twitter saying people were riding Lightning Rod.
Oh my gosh!
And then I text the PR guy. I was like, "Hey, I just got this message that Lightning Rod's open. Is that true?" He's like, "Yeah." I'm gonna meet you. He even gave me a whole itinerary. Like, I'm gonna meet you around noonish, 1 o'clock, in front of the ride. I'm gonna take you on a backstage tour. I'm gonna get pictures behind it, and we're gonna and then that night and get you some ERT, maybe. I'm like, oh, holy crap! So day 2 of it opening to the public. We got there and literally just went straight to the line. Of course, we rode it, amazed by it, and then after that, we went and I think we rode like maybe Tennessee Tornado, and then came back, and then we got the Backstage Tour.
Oh, nice!
They took us under, like, in the storage area underneath. Wow. They took us on a walk back, pictures of the ride. You see the entire back half of the ride. You could see it from there.
Yeah, they did that. I think they did this for like an Ace event also. Like just last year, they just did this for them. But man, that's crazy.
Yeah, it was amazing. Like we posted on social media all day. We actually did a live Facebook video from about to be in the station, because like most people were like they heard it was open, but
nobody's seen. It's like one of those.
I haven't seen what it is. Look at this, everybody, we're here. And it was crazy fun. And then of course that night we were like, hey, let's go. And he's like, yeah, we got you open for about an hour. We don't know if the ride's gonna be open that whole time, but let's go. Came in, we got ERT out the wazoo. I got in every single row I wanted to. We rode it for an hour in a row. There was a family came in of like 6 people. Don't even know who they were, but they were like, we had enough. We were like, we don't have a whole crew. We had like 8 or 9 at that point. They were like, hey, you mind these people? I was like, no, more the merrier. Let's go. Rode everywhere, front, back, side.
Does it feel different? At least, like, would you say it feels definitely different now than it's been since back then, or what?
I haven't been on it since then.
Oh my gosh!
I've been to Dollywood, I think 3 times since then, and it's been closed every time. Yeah,
that's crazy.
Lightning Rod is one of those beasts that when it's running,
a hit or miss for sure.
Yeah.
That's how like a lot of people were for Volcano. I mean, that's legit how it is. It's like Volcano will be running one moment, and then you run over there, and you're just like, what the world just happened? Like, what do you mean it's down? Like, same thing for Twisted Timbers. When it first opened, it was like, what are y'all doing with this ride? Like, why is it down every week? Like, RMCs just have that really bad opening. It's so weird.
Yeah, I thought Dragster was bad, but then I'm like, Dragster's got nothing on Lightning Rod. Lightning Rod's been half closed. And knowing some of the people, having met Shoki over the years, and some of the people at RMC give me a little bit. I can't tell me everything, but I've got I can put some bits and pieces together. What's going on? It's mostly a sensor problem with Lightning Rod.
Yeah.
And with the launch up the hill, it's just the launch too. Like sensors and launches, sometimes they weren't reading right, and the system. It was the first launch wooden coaster,
right? And it's like the only one.
It's the only one, yeah. So they're still working out the kinks on it.
I would see them trying that maybe when I don't know if they would do it again in a while, but like I could see them trying it again. But I think for sure they would definitely use like their own launch system instead of going out from a third party like how they did. So
yeah, I think they had a good concept. I just think it just didn't work out right the way they wanted it. So
I mean that happens. It was prototype all the way. So
yeah, and that's the thing. Everybody loves it. It's not like it's a bad ride.
Yeah, that's the good thing. So
everybody's been on it, but like it's a phenomenal ride. It's just they did have some bottom of the first drop issues, but that's it. Like a little bit of a jolt down there, but outside of that, from what I've heard from people over the years, so I've that's my favorite by far wooden coaster.
So what would you say? Not Steel, but what would you say is the best like Six Flags and Cedar Fair park you've been to?
Wow, that's tough. So I've been to a lot of Six Flags parks. I can tell you the worst is Six Flags America by about a light year and a half. I went there in 07 with my dad. We actually did
man.
like a week-long trip to
Mm-hmm.
a bunch of parks I'd never been to, and we started there. Walking in, a bird shit on my shoulder. I was like, "This is a bad start to a coaster trip, but this is gonna be day one." And then half the rides were closed. I waited like
DC,
right, like an hour and a half wait for Superman.
Yep.
I'm like,
horrible ops.
So I got half the creds, and I was like, I don't need to come back here.
Yep.
Ever since then, I haven't been back. That was like 15 years ago. I'm like, I'm good.
Oh my gosh.
I'm good. But my favorite Six Flags, I did like Magic Mountain. Not so much for the operations are bad across the entire company. That's the worst operations was Great America actually.
Oh
Chicago.
Wow, I heard about that. Yeah, I've heard like with Max Force, they have Max Force right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I heard that the operations are not the best. So.
Oh yeah, last year we had a live there, and we got lucky because it was raining that day. So
wow.
The ride's already kind of hit or miss because it just opened. But it rained, so the ride was closed half the day. So we were in that half of the park, and it started to lighten up. We're like, well, let's just go to Max Force. So all of us had been there before. We all ridden everything. We weren't in a rush, right? So like, let's go. Waited there. We were like 10 people deep.
Oh wow!
Rain stopped. We're like, rides around and started open. Like Wizard's right there. You heard Wizard going. You could hear Raging Bull going. Even though that one kind of goes all the time, no matter what. Then off in the distance, you could see Superman going. You're like, uh-oh. And then you started hearing the shoot because it's it's a loud sound. So that thing pops off. You're like, uh-oh, they're testing it. Got straight on, front row. Boom. That's a hell of a launch.
I was about to say, how's that launch? Because everyone says it's like, it's really like top third. Everyone's like, it's basically right there with it. So
there's two different types of launches. There's the Premier.
Because they have the air pressure one.
There's really three. Yeah. So if you're looking for a bang and then go, like, a shot out a gun.
Yeah.
That's what the Premier ones are.
Okay.
A hell of a launch. Personally, I prefer the long, dragging, intimate accelerated ones.
Really? Well,
because it pulls you that entire length of track.
That's true. Because like when I rode Storm Runner, I was like, "Oh my gosh, like this is crazy."
Oh, yeah. The launch felt so much stronger, even though the acceleration's slow.
Right. Yeah.
And but the launch was Storm Runner is not a long.
Right.
Launch,
I live the inversions on it, so.
Oh yeah, Storm Chaser's a great Storm Runner.
Storm Runner, yeah.
Storm Chaser's a good one too.
Yeah.
But I mean, overall, I don't think the entire chain's good from an operational standpoint.
Yeah.
I would say, Magic Mountain probably be the fave. I've been there.
Okay.
I've only been there once, surprisingly.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I went to Vegas with a friend for a week.
Oh nice.
He lives in Vegas, so we one day. He's a big coaster fan too because he's from Ohio. So we drove to Valencia and went to Magic Mountain for a day. By the way, we were
X2 and Tatsu. Oh. Everyone on the podcast has said that's the same reaction. It's crazy.
X2 is a different thing.
I just need to experience it. Like, I don't know how. I mean, now I probably will be able to get over there really quick just to try to get a flight because I'm just like, maybe as soon as like parks open up, I might just try to get a ticket out of nowhere just because. So I'll see.
Yeah, it's Tom's number one. It's dropped a little bit for me just because I prefer airtime compared to
same.
Just those type of experiences. Like my 10 to 20 is more like those experiences, right?
Yeah, like
those coasters that's true. They're great, but they don't get everything I need. X2 is one of those things. I would say it's one of the most incredible ones, but it doesn't give me that airtime. Sensation, excuse me. That
like when I rode Intimidator, like when I was younger, I just was like, there's nothing that's gonna top this. And like then my friend told me he was just like, just ride Fury, and I was like, are you sure? I was like, go down to ride Fury, front row. First of all, the drop, I was like, oh, so that's what the extra like 15 feet is. So it's crazy.
Yep, Fury is it. It came back actually that. I think what hurt it the first time I rode it was that we had ERT on the night before. And then the next day we went to Fury. I was like, Fury's crap. Like, this thing's terrible. And last year, one of those rain days, like half the day rained, the rest of it was clear. Wow. And we marathon. The next morning, we went for like 3 hours and then left. marathoned it, and it immediately jumped to my top 10. I was like, what was wrong with me last time? Then I started doing some looking back, like,
yeah,
that's what was wrong with me. I just rode lightning rod and I loved it to death. That's terrible comparison. I had the same thing when I went to Texas in the early 2013, 2014.
Oh wow.
Was that I started on lightning rod. I went to Outlaw Run.
Oh wow.
And then I did New Texas Giant and Iron Rattler. And those two,
that's like, yeah,
terrible.
I was gonna say you can't.
It's terrible. Like, and so I went to media day too for Outlaw Run. So like, I had like 40 rides over the course of 2 months.
Oh my gosh.
And then I go ride, New Texas Giant twice. I'm like, this is crap. Slow, doesn't do anything. And Iron Rattler, I'm like, this is short. It's okay. But I see other people saying it's great. I'm like,
yeah, that's what I was saying.
Have you been on another RMC? Is this all you got? Hey, man, more power to you. More power to you. Whatever it is. But circling back to your other question, Cedar Fair, I would say my favorite park would definitely be Cedar Point.
Okay.
A little bit of bias, of course. But I think most of them are pretty good. I like Carowinds. I like Carowinds just changed over the years.
Definitely. I'm glad I went during the era of like after Fury 325, because before then, like Intimidator was really all they had, and it was like, or Afterburn. Everyone forgets about Afterburn because it's such a good ride, but people don't talk about it.
Oh, it's so great. I rave about that all the time. People get crap on it. I'm like, have you been
it's
on
my
it?
favorite. It's my favorite invert coaster that I've been on. So,
it's my favorite too.
It's solid.
So it's really close to Montu, but yeah, it's real good.
What about worst Cedar Fair? I guess since you already did the worst.
Ooh. Probably Michigan's Adventure.
Oh, okay.
Just because of the lack of quality. Yeah, there's nothing there. And some people, literally yesterday, somebody was like Shivering Timbers, because I think the Chain Lift, the podcast, and YouTubers,
and they did the iron, they did Iron Timbers. I was like, man, that looks like actually good RMC.
Yeah. Then somebody was like, oh, don't ever do this.
I'm like, I'll take it. I'll take it.
Yeah, I'm like, Shivering Timbers is so great. I was like, wait, have you been on the ride? Like, oh, it gets
that's
great
what I kept seeing comments about.
Like,
I was like, everyone was just like, I hope they don't do this, but I love it. I was like, what are you talking about?
I was like, have you been on it before? Because you may have ridden it once, because this is what happened to Mark on the podcast. He was like, it's great. And then I went for the first time. And I was like, he was hyping it up. Yeah. Like, I don't know. I was like, this was ass. Like, this was, like, it's okay. It's not great. Like somebody said laterals. I was like, what laterals? What planet? It's literally an out and back. There's no laterals. Crazy person.
Oh my gosh.
That airtime, it's okay. It's not mind blowing. Yeah.
Okay, what's the other question I got here? Let's see. Okay, which park has the best food?
Dollywood.
At least so far that you've been to.
Dollywood or Silver City.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of 50-50. So
everyone says cinnamon bread.
The cinnamon, so I discount that. I'm talking straight up food now. If you're talking snack food, cinnamon bread is light years above everything else on the planet.
No, I'm talking about real food though.
Oh yeah, no, they have Dollywood's got a buffet.
Oh wow.
And it's like home style everything, right?
Oh man.
Fried chicken, mashed potatoes, green beans. It's like going to not Cracker Barrel? No, not Cracker Barrel. Golden Corral.
Oh, okay.
But it all being actually good. Think of it like that. Think of a good Golden Corral. That's what it tasted like. And it's so, every time we've gone there, I've gone there. It's a little more, because they have 2 buffets there.
Yeah.
It's better than the other one. But it's so good. It's right
the park just looks awesome too. Like, it just makes you think of Busch Gardens in a sense. So.
Oh yeah, when I first went to Busch, in Williamsburg, I went with my dad, as I mentioned before. Yeah, and that surprised me with the food too.
Yeah,
I wasn't expecting it at all. I was like, holy crap, this is good food.
It's pretty good, man. Like, it's pretty good.
Oh yeah, for sure.
What else do I have? Let's see here. Okay, what was an underwhelming coaster?
Man, how many I got for you?
Just give me like 5 at least.
Oh, see, you put me on the spot. I'm trying to think. Oh man. Oh well, right off the bat, one that comes to mind for me is Sky Rush.
Oh,
at Hershey.
Yep.
For me personally.
Same.
Now, underwhelming in the point of it caused me so much pain.
Yep.
I couldn't enjoy it. Now,
right. I wanted to I like the ride. I still would say it's the best one in the park, but it's like I have that love-hate relationship with the ride.
Yeah. So. See, it's one of those you can see how good it is.
Right, you're just like, oh, if they hadn't made it like Intimidator.
If they would have did T-bars instead of those stupid restraints, we'd have been all right. But no, and that trip I mentioned before, we had like 25 people get ERT on it. And we rode it. I was the one who didn't like it the most. And they were like, what's wrong with you? I was like, I'll say, unlike y'all, I have thighs. They exist. Right. So a bar pressing and separating the muscles on my thigh doesn't feel good. I can't enjoy something like that. So that's definitely that's one. Another one would be Leviathan.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people say that one.
C-dubs, it's too short. I have very Orion vibes from it. Obviously you're wearing the shirt.
You already know. Onion 287.
Yeah, Onion 287. Not a giga. Hashtag I'll die. I'll go to my grave saying that.
Oh man.
But Leviathan's way too short, especially when you compare it to like Fury. Fury really kicks your ass.
I know, like Fury. Some days I ride, I'm like, man, this actually is a long roller coaster. Like,
oh yeah, it's long. It gets going. But yeah, Leviathan was. I thought Behemoth was better.
Oh wow.
That was our first. That's the thing. By the way, Canada's Wonderland.
Everyone says Behemoth is good. And everyone also says Canada Wonderland's flat rides are like the best ones in the chain. So I'm like, I'll have to go. I'll have to go one day.
Yeah, and maybe some of the best in the world, to be honest. Their flats are
they look awesome. Like they have like those crazy looking ones, like the ones you see at the state fair, but they actually look maintained though. So
yeah. The that's the thing about that park that day was I'd never been, so I was like, well, let me get every cred.
Yeah.
So then
it's hard too to get all of them. See.
Yeah, we rode Behemoth first. Because we had platinum passes for Cedar Fair, so we're like, all right, get in early, let's go ride it. Rode it a couple times, like, all right, that's a good start to the day. And then you don't realize this is before Yukon Striker came.
Oh yeah.
You don't realize that they literally have nothing.
What?
Nothing else.
What do you mean?
They have nothing else good. It is.
Are you
just
sure?
100. Hey, I've been there. Minus Yukon Striker, all they have is Leviathan and Behemoth. Wow. We waited for Leviathan last. Because we knew what was coming. I looked out on Roller Coaster Database. I was like, look it up on Roller Coaster. They have a Valair. First of all, they have a Valair.
A Valair.
Just that's just crying. They have an SLC. They have old arrows, a boomerang. Nothing. There's just they have just a whole hodgepodge. Just because you know King's Dominion. You know how they have those old that's the old rides before like 2000. They didn't change anything.
Oh man!
All they've had is Yukon Striker.
Well, yeah, because it was like a prototype park. Like everything they got at that time, like for the most part, they used to get like prototype stuff. So
yep. So they had no B&Ns before Behemoth. So it was literally a part. I was so utterly disappointed in that part. If I'll tell you this, if Michigan Adventure, if they didn't have Behemoth, I probably would rank it lower than Michigan's Adventure.
Oh wow!
Because it's that.
Like, it looks so cool too, because they had like the mountain type of thing. I'm just like, man, this park looks so good.
That indoor coaster actually isn't half bad.
Oh yeah,
half bad doesn't cut it for me. It really doesn't. That was like
that whole. I traveled, like come on now.
Like that whole trip, like we went to the Darien Lake, we went to Seabreeze, a couple of parks over in northern New York.
Yeah.
And then we went up to Canada's Wonderland. And I was my favorite park of the trip was Seabreeze. That cost me $10 to get in. Like, that's a bad trip. Like, I spent a whole weekend I was with my friends, but oh man, like the highlight of the trip was supposed to be kicking Leviathan's ass and getting on Behemoth. And then I was like, my first day of the trip was the most fun.
The first part of the trip.
Yeah, the very first thing. So honestly, outside of that, the other fun thing was on the drive back home, because we split up because some of us are from different parts. So me and Mark were driving back to Columbus, and we were on Interstate 90, which is right by Waldameer.
Oh,
it rained half the drive back. We were like, okay, we got a gap. Let's go. We drove to Waldameer, got there, bought tickets for 2 rides.
What?
Went through twice. Started raining as we were walking off the train. Downpour.
Okay, so the last question I have for you was, what was like the top 5 parks that you're like most anticipated, like that you haven't been to but you really want to go to?
Oh man, I would say Alton Towers.
Oh yeah.
So I went to Europe a couple years back. I really wish I could have gone. It was too far out of the way.
Yeah.
We weren't in London long enough. It was just me and the wife, and I kind of wanted to do historic London rather than go through all that stuff. Yeah. And we had done a couple of parks. That's where we went to ride Wildfire Commander.
Oh wow.
And we went to Tivoli Gardens, which was great.
Nice.
In Copenhagen. Yeah. So yeah, no, I really wish we could have Alton. We could have did Thorpe, but we were like, I'm not public transporting it that much. It's not that important. Yeah, Alton Towers definitely. I would also say Intergelandia, just because of how crazy it's been. I think that's pretty much every enthusiast's bucket list over the last couple of years. I've pushed that out because my 5-year anniversary is actually coming up here soon.
Oh, nice.
And we got married in Prague, so we were gonna like, let's go,
right?
And then let's go down to Poland. We'll stop over, $20 a night. We'll be all right. Gold Reef City in Johannesburg, South Africa.
I don't think I heard that one, but
it's got I forget the name of the coaster there, but it pulls like 7 Gs.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, it's the highest G-rated coaster on the planet.
That's crazy.
It's just like it's like a Eurofighter that drops down to a shaft.
Okay. I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
And then they have like Anaconda, which is like an Intamin sit down or invert. That's there too. Yeah. Small little thing. That's in South Africa. I'd love to go to South Africa. That'd be cool. And then I think it'd definitely be Japan. I want to go to pretty much anywhere in Japan.
Yeah, that's basically what I'm just whoever wants to fund it.
Yeah.
You'll have cash app me, PayPal me, whatever you gotta do.
Yeah,
you gotta get Angelo to Japan.
Yeah, that'd be a good trip. That'd be a great trip. In fact, we I got there's 3 or 4 parks over there that I'd love to do in Japan, and also go get T Express.
Oh yeah,
just because that's one in South Korea. Yeah, that when we were so me and the podcast boys, we were talking about going to Japan, and this year. Oh wow. Obviously, the plans fell through in January, so it wasn't like we were going to go anyway. But we were thinking about going next year, but then of course, this who knows what the impact could be. So we were thinking about what we were going to do over there, and we were like, all right, we got to hit the big ones, of course. Right. Good news is fellow YouTuber Taylor Bybee from C Studios had just gone. Wow. He's a friend of mine, so he gave me some tips, and obviously Dan from Midway Mayhem, know him pretty well. So it's getting some hints, tips, what we should do when we're over there. I'm like, all right. And I think I probably would honestly spend like a week and a half there, maybe. Oh wow, nice. Fly into Seoul. Yeah. Go get T Express, and then fly over to Tokyo, and then hit up everything there, and then fly out of Tokyo back.
Well, all right, man. We're almost at our time limit. This has been a really long podcast today. I just wanted to say thank you so much for coming on. It's so nice to have like someone for CoasterForce, just hearing about like all the stories and whatnot, especially Geauga Lake. So thank you for being on. I hope you guys did enjoy the video. Thank you all for watching if you've been with me this long. And just remember to subscribe to the channel for more content like this, and enable post notifications to stay up to date with everything that's happening on the channel. And until next time, you guys, peace out.